All right, now you can see where with this type of leg, I've stuffed this kind of haunch part. No stuffing is going to stick in there. This is too small. And I'm going to begin sewing in this little bottom piece. Now, I got to tell you, in complete and total honesty, about 99% of the time, I guess on what this size should be. Completely and totally. And I think it's just because I've done this so much that I kind of know about how big. I've never sat down and done any kind of equation. I've never tried to figure anything out like the circumference or any of that kind of stuff. I'm basically just going on gut. What looks right to me, which is fine for me. However, it does make it a little bit more difficult to try to explain to someone else. So when I say I'm going to start at the back here, you can see I've gone all the way around this, and now I'm to this point. And I'm going to go through, see if I can get this up here so you can see it. I'm going to make sure I'm looped through that one stitch right there. And anchor it in. So now I know it's not going to move. Now, remember how I was saying that I always have to remind myself that I need to get these pieces so they're kind of like a little sandwich, and I'm holding them so that I'm stitching through both of them at the same time, and I can see the edges. This felt's about 1 millimeter thick, maybe 1.5 millimeters. I think the lavender one here is a little thicker. And then I just go all the way around. Now you can probably guess that I'm not going to have enough thread on this needle to go all the way around. And you are correct. Which means I'm just going to probably stop about right there and then tie a new one on. And then I'm going to show you how you stick this little piece in there, this little cardboard piece. Okay, you can see I've gotten a little further along here. And one of the things that you need to be careful, I always need to be careful of, so I'm coming up around these little edges, these little, oh, there it goes. I had my, you can see what I did there. I've accidentally stabbed through. Is to make sure that these match as closely as possible. I always tell myself to slow down. I get so impatient and I just want things done like right now. It's in my head, therefore I should be able to see it in front of me. Okay, so you can see that I've gotten this sewn halfway on. So what I'm going to do is I'm kind of going to open it up a little bit. And I'm going to start laying in some more stuffing in here. Just enough to perhaps get this piece, and I'm going to put it against. Sometimes I glue these in place prior to sewing anything. And then sometimes I just decide, well, whatever, I don't feel like doing that. I'm not going to do it. And I have to honestly say, when I'm making a doll, like a doll that looks like a person that has, you know, 4 arms and 2 legs, or no, 2 arms and 2 arms and 4 legs, 4 legs and 2 arms. I tend to glue those down, and I'm constantly, there are times in which it's like, oh, will you just stay in, and other times where it's, there's really no rhyme or reason to why I do it one way or the other. I just know that I have noticed that I tend to glue them down when I'm working on a doll. that's more humanoid. So I'm going to get a couple of stitches in here and get these anchored. So now you can see that this is not very stuffed at all, and that's when I come in and I'll take a regular little piece of stuffing that I have and roll it up so it's much more tightly packed than like my regular. And I'll grab the two ends like this and I stuff them exactly where I want them to go. And you can see now the foot looks different. It's poking out a little bit more. I can still tell I need a little bit more in there. And again, why do I do it this way? It works for me. I don't know. I was never taught this. I have come up with these methods, techniques, etc. largely on my own. I was thinking about that the other day. Okay, pull that straight. That by and large, there are some artists that I can point to and say, I've taken some influence or direction from. But what I've done is I've turned it into something that I use. The first one, and this has been many, many years ago, was an artist by the name, a fiber artist by the name of Ayala Talpe. And she was my little aha moment for how I would attach hair to the heads of my dolls. I'll have to see if I can find some links to her. I'm not sure if she's alive anymore. I don't think she was ancient by any stretch of the imagination. But I took some techniques that she had with needle felting and applied them in a way for myself. So, as you can see, I'm kind of going along here and squeezing. I don't think that's tight enough. So, okay, you get out of here. I don't like you. Go away. No, I like him just fine. I just need him to go away right now. And while I'm doing this, I'm pulling and then I can push in and then I'm holding on to. That feels better now. Again, how do I know? I have no idea how I know. I just know this is the way that I do it. Which is not super helpful to anybody who would like to make something like this. You know, why do I use the tweezers? Because it works for me. And this is one of those instances where instead of putting the two pieces side by side together, I really can't do that anymore because I have so much in there. I do a lot of poking things back in, pulling this. The whole reason I use the blanket stitch as much as I do is because of an artist. I do not know their name in Japanese. They're on Instagram under Ochibits. And I saw how this artist was using this stitch, and I really, really liked it. And my work doesn't look anything like theirs. I just looked at it and said, I like that, I want to use it. So you can see again, I'm getting closer to the end here. One more. And now I just need to link these together. Pull tight. Make a knot. And now it's time to hide this tail. To clip this here is to risk everything unraveling. So close to where the stitch is, I come through once, flip it around, and you'll see, you just notice that I just pulled the thread in a certain way. Flipped it around the other way. Gonna pull through again, get rid of that little hole, pull through another way. I do it 3 times, usually 2 to 3 times, because I want that anchored so it's not gonna come out. Pull and snip. And there's this type of little haunchy kind of foot. Yeah. This video got really long.